Chapter 335. God Z was still nagging anxiously when Lin Yan suddenly received a call. She gave a perfunctory reply before hanging up. He looked at the name on the screen. Sure enough, it was Zhao Hongling. Hello, Sister Ling, what's up with the news online? Are you going to be the navigator of the He family team? Are you going to compete in the third level of the international competition? Zhao Hongling asked directly. Lin Yan blinked innocently. Navigator. No, Zhao Hongling heaved a sigh of relief, thinking that it had to be a rumor spread by her haters. A second later, Lin Yan quipped, I'm not a navigator. I'm driving. Zhao Hongling was speechless. The other end of the line was silent for a few seconds. Zhao Hongling had assumed that Lin Yan had regained her rationality after Lin Shi's interference. She hadn't expected that Lin Yan would say something like this. Do you think that you're not popular enough? Zhao Hongling sighed heavily, at a loss for words. She deliberated for a moment before she said, Lin Yan, I know that you're anxious to make a comeback, but going too far is as bad as falling short. An appropriate amount of popularity might bring you some benefits, but if the negative news about you continues to spread, your fans will boycott you and you will be banned. I've tried to get some resources for you, but no one has dared to hire you. If you hadn't been lucky enough to join the cast of Meeting One's match, I'm afraid you wouldn't have had a chance to make a comeback. Lin Yan's heart warmed as she listened to Zhao Hongling patiently. Sister Ling, I understand. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in this race. Zhao Hongling frowned. She didn't understand why Lin Yan was so confident. Even though she was He Dingquan's granddaughter, that didn't mean that she knew how to race. Besides, she had only competed as a navigator, which wasn't the same as driving. Even though she wasn't an expert, she knew that theory and practice weren't the same. Besides, she had read up on WW and knew that even ZH1 wasn't a match for them. Hence, Lin Yan's sudden appearance made even the netizens think that Lin Yan was trying to gain some popularity. However, Zhao Hongling felt an inexplicable urge to trust her when she heard her words. Lin Yan had indeed changed a lot recently. She didn't look like someone who would do something reckless just because she was anxious. All right, call me anytime if you need my help, Zhao Hongling said. Okay. Thank you, Sister Ling. Lin Yan paused before she asked, Sister Ling, how are you doing? Are those people still causing trouble for you? I'm fine. I'm fine. Zhao Hongling's tone was flat. Lin Yan narrowed her eyes. How could this be good? A bunch of people would kick her when she was down. Previously, Zhao Hongling had Jiang Sifei to back her up, so they hadn't dared to say anything. Now that they were certain that Zhao Hongling would be fired in 3 months, they wouldn't let go of this opportunity to humiliate her. In order to prevent her from achieving her goals, they would definitely think of ways to snatch her resources. By the way, since you don't have a schedule for the time being, I'll transfer Duo to another artist, Zhao Hongling explained. Oh, okay, no problem. I'll pay attention. Lin Yan nodded in understanding. After all, Duo wasn't her personal assistant. She was only here temporarily. Chapter 336. After talking to Zhao Hongling, Lin Yan sent a WeChat message to Duo. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, Baby Duo, don't worry. I won't forget you even when I'm rich. When I become rich, I will make you my personal assistant. Star Entertainment's Qian Duo typed, I guess I won't be able to wait that long. Thank goodness. Misty City amid the setting sun, Tui, how could you say something so inauspicious? I'm going to post something on Weibo to get rid of my bad luck. On the other end of the line, Duo was rendered speechless by Lin Yan's post on Weibo. Star Entertainment's Qian Duo typed, can you stop going on Weibo at a time like this? Misty City amid the setting sun typed, why? Star Entertainment's Qian Duo typed, look at Wei Shufeng's Weibo for yourself. Wei Shufeng? What had that fan of hers done? Lin Yan clicked on Wei Shufeng's Weibo page curiously. Young Master Wei had started to poke fun at her again. A blogger had posted on Weibo. Sister Yan, you're the best. The world loves you the most. You'll definitely win. When you teach WW a lesson, I'll beat WW to the ground. Lin Yan had no idea why the blogger had tagged Wei Shufeng's Weibo. Hence, Wei Shufeng had reposted the blogger's Weibo post and retorted, "You're just trying to impress the public. If that woman wins, I will strip naked." Lin Yan raised an eyebrow when she read the post. She looked sympathetic. Was he going to go all out? Sigh. I'm sorry, little fan. At the same time, Lin Yan noticed the post that Wei Shufeng had shared. The blogger's ID was Sister Yan's loyal fan. It seemed like he was Lin Yan's fan. Other than a little firework from last time, she actually had other fans? Could he be a hatchet man? After all, this Sister Yan's loyal fan seemed like an attempt to instigate a war. How could a fan be so sure that she would win? Lin Yan pondered for a moment and suddenly realized that this ID looked familiar. She then realized that this ID had been very active on her Weibo account recently. Almost all her posts had been liked and commented on. The homepage was also filled with content related to her. If he was a man in black, then his disguise would be quite convincing. Lin Yan clicked on her messages as she pondered. Amidst all the cursing, she saw that Sister Yan had sent her a private message as well. Sister Yan typed, "Boss, I've already bought a ticket. I'm looking forward to your return. You're the best. Good luck, boss." Boss. Only Yeva's fans would address her as boss. Who was this Weibo fan? He actually knew her true identity? As far as she knew, no one should know her identity. Oh, no. There really was one. Could it be that staff member who recognized her during the competition? His name seemed to be Qi Xiaoyuan or something. Qian Duo from Star Entertainment. I wanted to ask you before. Why did you change your name and profile picture? Who is the man in your avatar? Mr. Pei? I don't think I've seen this photo before. On the other end of the phone, Plenty suddenly sent a message over. The background of Lin Yan's profile picture seemed to have been taken at home. It didn't look like Pei Nanxiu. Misty City amid the setting sun replied, Yes, it's Mr. Pei. His brother. Chapter 337. Lin Yan leaned against the window as she tried to fool Duo. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of a familiar car parked downstairs. Why did it look like Pei Yuqing's car? Lin Yan opened the window and took a closer look. This time, she saw a man standing beside the car. No way, why would Pei Yuqing be standing at her building so late at night? Why hadn't he told her that he was here? Lin Yan scrambled to her feet and wanted to confirm her suspicions. Lin Yan draped a coat over her shoulders and went downstairs. On the side of the road in the neighborhood downstairs, there was a dim street light. A black car was quietly parked there, and the man's tall body was stretched into a long shadow under the street light. Mr. Pei? Lin Yan stood a few steps away from him as she tried to call out to him. Hearing that, the man's fingers that were holding the cigarette paused for a moment before he turned in the direction of the girl's voice. Oh, it's really you. Lin Yan was surprised when she saw the man's face. Pei Yuqing was wearing a suit, but his tie was undone. 2 buttons on his light-colored shirt were undone, and his hair was a little messy because of the night breeze. Mr. Pei, why are you here? Lin Yan walked over hastily. The cigarette in Pei Yuqing's hand burned quietly as he replied, I was passing by. Passing by, Lin Yan's eyes darted to Pei Yuqing's feet, which were littered with cigarette butts. Oh, I was just passing by. How long have you been here? Why didn't you tell me? Do you want to go upstairs? Asked Lin Yan. Pei Yuqing's expression faltered when he heard the girl. A look of surprise flashed across his eyes. Lin Yan had thought that there was nothing wrong with what she had said. She had no idea why Pei Yuqing would look so surprised. Even if they were just friends, it was only right for her to invite him upstairs. Besides, they were lovers. Under the streetlight, Pei Yuqing studied the girl's face and said slowly, "Human desires are endless. Once you get a little, you will want more." Huh? Lin Yan was confused. She didn't understand what Pei Yuqing meant. She had only invited him up to have a seat. Why did she suddenly reply with such a profound question? "What do you mean?" Lin Yan blurted out. Pei Yuqing lowered his eyes and chuckled softly. "I don't have any self-control in front of you." Lin Yan replied, When Lin Yan finally understood what he meant, she felt a little embarrassed. Holy shit. She only thought that out of courtesy, she should invite him up for a cup of tea. She really didn't mean anything else. Besides, she didn't have the guts to do that. "Seeing you is enough." Pei Yuqing reached out to stroke the girl's hair. Then, he bade her good night and turned to leave. Ever since she had gotten back together with Pei Yuqing had asked her to join Summit Entertainment. Everything else had returned to normal. Other than exchanging messages occasionally, they hadn't interfered with each other. It was rare for him to pass by, but he only saw her once before leaving. Moreover, if she hadn't discovered it herself, he probably wouldn't have let her know. "Seeing you once is enough," Pei Yuqing's words echoed in Lin Yan's ears. Instinctively, she raised her hand and touched the spot where Pei Yuqing had touched her. For some reason, she felt a hard part of her heart soften and collapse bit by bit. When she realized that she was in a daze, Lin Yan hurriedly shook her head to calm herself down. "Damn it. Wake up. Wake up. A hero's grave is a land of gentleness. You're going to be the richest woman in the world." Chapter 338. In the past 2 days, Lin Yan had been keeping an eye on the international racing film. Lin Yan already knew the title of the film. It was called The Story of the Racetrack. It was about the male lead, Lang Mang, who had just entered the racing industry and won 2 second-level competitions in a row. However, he fell into the lowest point of his life until he met his coach, the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. His skills improved, and he reached the pinnacle of his life. There was even a love story about Lang Mang. After reading the plot of The Story of the Racetrack, Lin Yan felt that this movie had a conscience. At least it had done its homework, and it was true. It was a pity that the racetrack's Grim Reaper didn't have many scenes. She was merely a gimmick. In terms of influence and popularity, few people could compare to the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Using the racetrack's Grim Reaper to attract the audience was indeed effective. Besides, the producers had placed a lot of importance on the racetrack's Grim Reaper. That was why they hadn't chosen the character yet. Lin Yan had wanted to give it a try. After all, the filming period was short, and the pay was high. However, the competition was too intense. It wouldn't be easy to clinch the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Filming The Story of the Racetrack wasn't the most important thing right now. She had to settle the competition with WW first. The next morning, Lin Yan arrived at Ningnan Arena early in the morning. Lin Yan had informed ZH1 beforehand, so the competition had been designated as a racing event. Hence, there was no need for a navigator. Lin Yan had skipped the He family team and asked ZH1 to give her a spot in the competition. Speaking of which, she wondered if Pei Yuqing had read the news about her. Pei Yuqing hated racing so much. If he found out that she was going to compete, wouldn't she be doomed? However, a big shot like Pei Yuqing probably wouldn't pay attention to this kind of gossip. Lin Yan calmed down at the thought of this. At this moment, the Ningnan Coliseum was packed with people. Due to the special circumstances of this competition, even though it was just a qualifier, everyone was paying close attention to it. The He family team had arrived early in the morning. That woman is here too. The navigator of the He family team frowned in disgust when he saw Lin Yan standing not too far away. Initially, the He family team's navigator had liked Lin Yan. However, Lin Yan's performance 2 days ago had completely erased their good impression of her. What infuriated them even more was that Lin Yan had colluded with ZH1 to replace one of the He family racers with Lin Yan. This is the first time I've heard of a navigator driving a car. Qing Li glanced at Lin Yan and sneered coldly. She's just a navigator, yet she wants to replace one of our racers. Who gave her the courage to do that? What a joke. Does he really think he can become a racer just because he knows some navigator theory? Uncle Xiong, we had no chance of winning in the first place. With this woman messing things up, there's even less of a chance for us to play. He Xiong's eyes darted to Lin Yan. If Yan wants to go, then let her. Anyway, we have no intention of winning this match. He Dinkuan sighed. Chapter 339. He Dinkuan didn't care if Lin Yan had replaced one of the He family racers because of ZH1. Who was the He family's opponent this time? It was WW, one of the most prestigious teams in the country. Given the He family's current standards, it would be impossible for them to win against WW. Now, He Dinkuan had to think about what the He family team would have to face after their defeat. Although ZH1 had officially announced that the He family team was ZH1's substitute team, that wasn't enough. Everyone was cursing and scolding them on the internet. After losing to WW, they would have to bear the infamy of cheating. Besides, the He family team wouldn't be able to receive any more sponsors or investments. This woman, she actually replaced me? A racer wearing a cap was glaring at Lin Yan coldly. Zhang Yun, consider yourself unlucky. Anyway, we won't be able to win this race against WW, so it doesn't matter if you are replaced. One of the He family team members glanced at the young man in the baseball cap. That's true, but what about her? What right does she have? Does she know where the accelerator, clutch, and brakes are? Does she really think that she can do whatever she wants to the He family team just because she won against Old Tang's team? Zhang Yun bellowed coldly. Forget it. After all, she is the old master's granddaughter. So what if she is? Besides, does she even know that she is the old master's granddaughter? If she really thinks that way, she should learn from Qing Li and try to persuade ZH1 to change the competition to a rally. Even if we can't beat WW, we can at least make Mingkai famous. Zhang Yun sneered coldly at Lin Yan, who was standing not far from him. He didn't bother to hide the disgust in his eyes. Alright, ignore her. He Mingkai interjected, just focus on our own race. Treat her as heir. Who cares about her? It's just that this woman replaced Zhang Yun. She's really despicable. Even if she can't win, this racetrack is so important. How can she do whatever she wants? Actually, I don't think Miss Lin has any ill intentions. She is just a little ignorant. She thinks that she can race just because she has some navigational knowledge. One of the racers sighed heavily. Moments later, Wei Shufeng and Qi Xiaoyuan entered the arena. This race was a challenge, so reporters from the racing industry couldn't enter. Only the team members and staff, as well as a few invited VIPs, could enter. Wei Shufeng and Qi Xiaoyuan were the VIPs who had entered the race. I'm not really interested in this competition. Wei Shufeng was bored out of his mind as he sat down in the VIP seats. Not interested? Qi Xiaoyuan glanced at Wei Shufeng suspiciously. You're a racing fanatic who would watch a race between Old Tang's team and the He family team. Now you're telling me that you're not interested in WW's competition? No, you're wrong. Wei Shufeng glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. I'm interested in races where the gap between the two teams isn't huge. That's why there are so many uncertainties. Is there a need to watch WW and the He family team? Chapter 340. Qi Xiaoyuan stroked his chin thoughtfully. That can't be right. We used to watch Boss race every time. Would there be any suspense if Boss was there? Boss is an exception. Watching Boss race is like enjoying the visual impact and the thrill of crushing his opponents. Wei Shufeng shook his head. Let's just watch the competition. Don't talk so much. Perhaps the He family team will win. Qi Xiaoyuan chuckled. The He family team will win against WW? Wei Shufeng glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. If the He family team wins, I will run around naked. Qi Xiaoyuan, given your standards, you shouldn't be talking about what if the He family team wins. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly. If Boss hadn't been around, he wouldn't have agreed to watch such a competition. Boss wasn't around, so there was no suspense. Boss was around, so there was no suspense. The Chinese language was profound and profound. Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Wei Shufeng with a complicated expression on his face. He had really posted on Weibo that if the He family team won, he would run around naked. How could he be so cruel to himself? He was a ruthless man. God Z and the ZH1 team members arrived at the He family team. The He family team members stood up and nodded at the ZH1 team. Thank you for your hard work today. Mumu grinned. He Xiong replied, don't mention it. God Z and the ZH1 team members trust Mingkai and are giving him a chance to perform. Even if we can't beat a veteran team like WW, Mingkai won't disappoint us. Don't worry. I'm in good shape today, He Mingkai replied. God Z was speechless. The ZH1 team members were speechless. God Z, I have something to discuss with you. About Lin Yan. Can you replace her and let Zhang Yun race? Otherwise, she will affect the team's performance. He Xiong glanced at God Z. Replace Lin Yan? All the ZH1 team members stared at He Xiong in disbelief. Was there something wrong with this man's brain? He had allowed the He family team to be ZH1's substitute team because of Lin Yan. Of course, it wasn't just a matter of pride. If Lin Yan hadn't competed, would they have been able to compete with a top team like WW? Would they have been able to compete on the racetrack? Even if Lin Yan were to compete personally, the ZH1 team wouldn't stand a chance. Naturally, the ZH1 team members knew who this man was. He was Miss Lin Yan's uncle. Even though he was Miss Lin Yan's uncle, he didn't dare to voice his thoughts. Were they supposed to tell He Xiong that his son and father were nothing in their eyes? The He family team had become ZH1's substitute team because of Miss Lin Yan and because she had agreed to compete personally. It had nothing to do with his son at all. After all, they were Lin Yan's cousin and uncle. Uncle He Xiong, there's a rule that states that you can't replace a team member on the day of the competition. A ZH1 team member grinned at He Xiong. Important notice, cute and embarrassed babies. The double monthly votes will be starting from September 28th to October 7th. Babies who still have votes, remember to vote for me after midnight. At that time, 1 vote will be equivalent to 2 votes. Kiss me 1 by 1. Yesterday's kisses in the canvas bag are, Yu Ran Ruoshi, Mu Ji Nai, it's Qian Qian, P.S. We'll continue to draw readers' canvas bags. During the double monthly tickets period, we'll draw 5 babies' canvas bags every day. You just have to record the monthly tickets this month. Chapter 341. He Xiong fell into deep thought as he listened to the ZH1 members. Indeed, there was such a rule. On the day of the competition, all the contestants had to be confirmed. Hence, there was no way to replace them. Actually, I have something to say. He Xiong contemplated for a moment before he glanced at God Z and the ZH1 members. Uncle He Xiong, just speak your mind. ZH1's Mumu grinned. Well, Lin Yan is just an ordinary navigator. She only knows the theory of racing. If we allow her to compete, I'm afraid that she will make a fool of herself. Although she is Mingkai's cousin, we don't have to be bothered by her unreasonable behavior, He Xiong replied. He Xiong assumed that ZH1 had replaced Zhang Yun because Lin Yan was Mingkai's cousin. The ZH1 members glanced at each other when they heard He Xiong. Where did He Xiong get his confidence from? His son's racing skills might be considered good in a low-level racing team, but in a mid-level team, he wouldn't even have the qualifications to be a substitute member, let alone a top team like this. Everyone, the competition is about to begin. Thank you for your hard work. Godzi glanced at He Xiong, He Mingkai, and the rest of the He family team with a smile. Godzi didn't say anything else as he led the ZH1 team members away. F***CK. Look. After Godzi led the ZH1 team members away, one of the He family team's navigators glanced at a group of people who had just entered the venue. They look familiar. Qingli muttered softly. Wait, they look familiar. Aren't they from the Speed Squad? One of the racers from the He family team exclaimed in disbelief. What? Speed Air. Air Commander's team, Speed. Air Commander, the player who competed against Lang Mang in the second level of the international tournament. That's right. That's him. He Xiong looked at He Mingkai, who was beside him. Mingkai, did you see how sensational this match is? Even the entire Speed team is here. Mingkai, this is your chance. Qingli said seriously, even a team as powerful as Speed has personally come to watch this match. As soon as Qingli finished speaking, the members of WW immediately went up to welcome them. Welcome, Speed, one of the WW members immediately apologized. Speed's captain, Air Commander, was quite famous in the international racing circle. Please wait a moment, I'll call our captain over, a WW member said excitedly. No need. Suddenly, a handsome man in a white casual shirt glanced at the WW team and said coldly, We're not here to look at you. Ah. Hearing Air Commander's words, the WW team members were astonished. This match was between WW and the He family. If Speed wasn't here for WW, then, we are here for the He family team. You guys can go back to work, one of the Speed members said impatiently. In their eyes, WW, a top Chinese powerhouse team, was nothing. This time, Speed's purpose was clear. There was only one reason. They were here to watch the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. Recently, Air Commander had found out all about her. She was the granddaughter of the He family team's boss, He Dingkuan. Chapter 342. The members of Speed, including Air Commander, had never imagined that the reigning champion of the first level, the racetrack's Grim Reaper, would be the granddaughter of the boss of a low-class team in China. It was unbelievable that a small team like the He family team could produce a legend like Yeva. I can't believe that we actually raced against Yeva. Oh my God. Even if we lost, it was a great honor. One of the Speed members exclaimed excitedly. Shoo. Keep your voice down. Don't let anyone hear you. Yeva has never shown her face before. If you hear this, you will be killed by her. Miss Yeva is so pretty. How could she be such a cruel person? You're too naive. The racetrack's Grim Reaper? Where did she get her nickname? Song Yaonan and the others were almost beaten to death by Yeva. That's true. The racetrack's Grim Reaper is famous for her bad temper among the top racers in the first level of the international competition. I heard that her personality is just like her driving style. The members of the He family stared at He Mingkai in disbelief. Qingli, the navigator, said, Air Commander, the captain of Speed, said that they came personally to watch the competition not because of WW, but because of the He family team. Because of the He family? One of the racers' eyes landed on He Dingkuan. He Dingkuan looked puzzled as well. He had never had any dealings with a legendary team like Speed. He didn't even know the members of Speed or the captain, Air Commander. He had only watched Speed's competitions on videos. Why would Speed come to Ningnan Arena because of the He family team? I don't know the captain or the members of Speed. I don't have any dealings with them, He Dingkuan replied confidently. Hearing this, Qingli fell into deep thought. Soon after, his gaze fell on He Mingkai. In that case, Speed must be here because of Mingkai. Could it be that Speed has noticed Mingkai and thinks that he has great potential? As Qingli's voice fell, He Xiong nodded repeatedly and said, That's right, that must be it. He Xiong turned to He Dingkuan with excitement. Dad, Speed must be here because of Minkai. He Dinkuan shook his head and chuckled. Minkai might be good, but it's a miracle that ZH1 is interested in him. It's impossible for a legendary team like Speed to do so. Impossible? Grandpa, why not? Even the captain of Speed, Air Commander, said that they are here for the He family team. Grandpa, you don't even know them. My driving skills are the best in the He family team. If they aren't here for me, who else could they be here for? He Minkai frowned. Dad, Minkai is right. None of us have anything to do with Speed. They must be here for Minkai. Although Minkai's skills aren't at the top level yet, he has great potential. A legendary team like theirs loves to look for young racers with potential, He Xiong said. He Dinkuan turned to He. He wanted to, but He Master, He Xiong, Master, wanted, Commander, and wanted to say. This was strange. Based on Minkai's skills, it was impossible for a legendary team like Speed to pick him. Even if He Minkai had potential, the entire Speed team wouldn't have come personally. Was he really getting old and unable to see He Minkai's potential? Chapter 343. Before long, Air Commander led the Speed team to where the He family team was. Air Commander grinned at the excited He family members. You guys are the He family team. It's an honor to meet you. You managed to groom Y. Oh, it's fine. We are just here to watch. We really like one of your racers. I hope we didn't disturb you. Upon hearing Air Commander's words, He Xiong immediately stepped forward. Not at all. It's our honor to have Speed here to cheer for our Minkai. Air Commander and the rest of the Speed team were taken aback. Minkai? He was the racer of the He family team, He Dinkuan's grandson, and Yeva's cousin. I'm rooting for you guys. Good luck. Air Commander chuckled awkwardly. However, they were Yeva's family members, so he couldn't comment further. After Air Commander led Speed's members to the VIP seats, Qingli smirked. What do you think? Did I get it right? Speed is here for Minkai. He Xiong glanced at He Dinkuan excitedly. Dad, did you see that? Old Master He Dinkuan was puzzled. That shouldn't be the case. Was He Minkai's potential really that great? Even Speed was there to watch him? Was he really getting old? Was he too old to keep up with the times? Soon, WW and the He family team entered their respective arenas. Their cars were already on the track, and the competition was about to begin. He Xiong glared at Lin Yan coldly. Lin Yan, if you affect Minkai's performance, you will have to bear the consequences. Miss Lin Yan, you have to know that ZH1 has taken a liking to Minkai. Besides, Speed's Air Force and team members are all here. Miss Lin Yan, you might not know about Speed, but I still hope that you won't race. You can say that you're not feeling well and apply to leave. That way, we can let Zhang Yun race again. Lin Yan glanced at Qingli expressionlessly and said, Scram. Everyone in the He family team was taken aback. How could Lin Yan tell Qingli to scram? Did she know who she was talking to? He was the best navigator of the He family team. Even He Dinkuan had to give Qingli some face. What, did you say? Qingli's eyes gleamed coldly as he stared at Lin Yan. What did this woman think she was? Lin Yan. How dare you speak to me like that? He Xiong bellowed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan yawned and put on her helmet. She didn't even glance at He Xiong and the others. She turned around and left the venue. She was the first to enter the racetrack. She opened the door and sat down. This bastard. The veins on He Xiong's forehead bulged as he watched Lin Yan enter the track. Dad, who does she think she is? Without me, would she have been able to meet the ZH1 team, the Speed team, and so many important people? She's just like her mother, an ingrate. He Minkai said coldly. Forget it. Qingli glanced at He Xiong. Uncle Xiong, this race is very important. let's just pretend that she doesn't exist. However, I hope that this woman will never have anything to do with the He family team again. I feel that she will bring harm to Minkai and the He family team. That wretched girl. He Xiong hissed coldly. The old master has spoiled her too much. After this race, I will make her pay. Don't forget to get double the monthly votes. Pick 5 people from the comments and get a canvas bag. You just have to record the monthly votes this month. Chapter 344. At the VIP area of Ningnan Arena, Wei Shufeng stared at the group of people seated in the distance, looking slightly surprised. He nudged Qi Xiaoyuan with the back of his hand. Hey, is that the Air Force team? Qi Xiaoyuan turned to look at them and nodded. It's Speed. Indeed, it's the Air Force team. Wei Shufeng's expression turned odd. If it's WW against ZH1, I could understand. However, why would Speed come to watch the competition between WW and the He family team? I've never heard of Speed interacting with WW or ZH1. They are on a completely different level. Qi Xiaoyuan found it odd that a team like Speed would come to Ningnan Arena to watch the competition. Logically speaking, he was the only one who knew about Boss's identity. Speed shouldn't have known that Lin Yan was Yeva. In that case, why would they come? Oh yeah. Wei Shufeng's eyes trailed to Qi Xiaoyuan. Have you heard about Boss? What happened to Boss? Qi Xiaoyuan asked unconsciously. Boss has retired. I think she retired due to her injury. Wei Shufeng sighed heavily, looking a little disappointed. I heard about it, but I don't know the details, replied Qi Xiaoyuan. Back then, Lin Yan had been banned from competing overseas for taking illegal drugs. This news hadn't spread, and there had been many suspicions about it. Hence, it had been announced that Yeva had retired due to her injury. First of all, everyone had witnessed Yeva's abilities. Her nickname as the racetrack's Grim Reaper wasn't just for show. She had been invincible at the first level of the international competition and she had held many records. Given Yeva's abilities, it didn't make sense for her to take illegal drugs during a competition. Moreover, racing was different from other things. Illegal drugs wouldn't have the slightest bit of benefit to racing. Instead, it would cause the racers to perform abnormally, even leading to irreversible accidents. Any racer, as long as they were normal and had a normal mind, would never consume illegal drugs. However, Lin Yan hadn't given any explanation at the time. She had simply left the competition, looking dejected. In addition, several large corporations hated Yeva and her racing team to the core. Those consortiums all had the world's top racing teams under their banner. Unfortunately, Yeva had dominated the first level of the international competition, which made them hate her. Hence, Lin Yan had no choice but to leave quietly. After all, racing was considered a competitive event, and it wasn't advisable to use illegal drugs. Although the various consortiums used this incident to pressure Yeva and the team behind her, they also knew that the news of Yeva consuming illegal drugs wouldn't stand. Given Yeva's influence and skills, no one would believe that she would consume illegal drugs in the first level of the competition. Hence, they tacitly agreed that Yeva had retired due to her injuries. Recently, news of Yeva's situation had started to spread. The public only knew that Yeva had been injured and couldn't race for the time being. Hence, she had retired temporarily. As for where she was recuperating and whether she had plans to return to the racing track, there was no news. No one knew. No one would have expected that Yeva, who had once dominated the first level of the international competition, would be competing in the Ningnan Arena for a small team like the He family team. Chapter 345. Air Commander stared at the silver car at the starting line and muttered under his breath, "This is unbelievable. Didn't the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, retire because of her injuries, Captain? Even if Yeva is injured, she can still defeat a team like WW with her eyes closed. The difference is too great." "They are worlds apart," one of the Speed team members said. Let alone beating WW with his eyes closed, even beating the captain with his eyes closed should be a piece of cake, another member said. He did not forget to sneak a glance at Air Commander beside him after he finished speaking. Air Commander didn't retort. After all, this was the truth. Even if Yeva had retired because of her injuries, she would still be able to beat him on the track. In the preparation area, the He family team was ready. The He family team hadn't come up with any strategy for this race, as the disparity between them and WW was too great. Any strategy would be useless against a team like WW. Instead, it would be a joke. Hence, it was better to let the members do whatever they wanted. Minkai, be bold. This race will be the turning point of your racing career. Qingli, who was standing beside him, glanced at He Minkai. We definitely don't stand a chance of winning this race, but that's not important anymore. ZH1 values you so much. At the very least, you can become a member of ZH1. Air Commander is here today, which proves that you have great potential. I believe that Speed is interested in you. After this race, Speed will invite you to join their team, Qingli added. Hearing this, He Xiong nodded and looked at He Minkai. Minkai, do your best. WW is nothing. Don't be intimidated by their reputation. Qingli is right. If you can enter the Speed battle team, it will be enough to prove your potential. In the future, you will leave WW in the dust. Dad, I understand, He Minkai said proudly. Minkai, regardless of whether you choose ZH1 or Speed, I will be by your side. I will help you dig out more of your potential. This race is all up to you. The corners of Qing Li's mouth curled up. The race is about to start. Get on the track. The old master, He Dinkuan, strode over to them. The members of the He family team nodded and walked towards the starting point. All the members of WW were ready to board their cars. The He family team members opened their car doors and got into the driver's seats as well. The race was about to begin, and the crowd fell silent. As the signal flag was waved, there was a buzzing sound, and a dozen cars instantly rushed forward. However, there was only one silver car left at the starting point. Is that the He family team's car? Isn't it going? What's going on? Seeing this, the crowd in the arena could not understand. This kind of thing had never happened before. Old Master He Dinkuan and He Xiong stood in the stands, their eyes fixed on the silver car that had yet to make a move. Dad, is this your granddaughter? She's a disgrace to the He family team. He Xiong sneered coldly. Forget it. Let Yen be. She doesn't know how to drive anyway. It's safer this way, He Dinkuan said. Dad, you should be glad that you have a grandson like Minkai, He Xiong said. Chapter 346. What's going on? Air Commander, who was seated in the VIP area, stared at the silver car as he mumbled to himself. This wasn't Yeva's style. Air Commander had studied Yeva's racing style thoroughly. However, he couldn't understand what was happening this time. Captain, did she deliberately go easy on them? A Speed member piped up suddenly. Hearing this, Air Commander was stunned. Going easy on them? Captain, look at Yeva's level and WW's level. If I were Yeva, I wouldn't be interested in competing against a team like WW. If she didn't go easy on them, why would she even race? It would be too boring. Meanwhile, in the silver car, F*CK. Where is the death mode? Lin Yen cocked her head to the side as she stared intently at the dashboard. ZH1 had provided her with these cars, so she hadn't been familiar with them. Found it. Lin Yen grinned and tapped on the dashboard. The next second, the silver racing car let out a roar that sounded like a wild beast. Lin Yen pulled the handbrake and stomped on the accelerator with her right foot. In an instant, the beast-like sound waves became even louder. The two rear wheels spun wildly, but the car remained stationary. Godzi looked at the silver car with a deep frown. She has turned off all the auxiliary systems, no way. What was Miss Lin Yan thinking? She couldn't have done that. Mumu replied, I believe in Miss Lin Yan. I believe that Speed has witnessed her driving skills. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they heard Mumu. Indeed, they had witnessed Lin Yan's driving skills with their own eyes. Whoosh! As soon as Mumu finished speaking, Lin Yan's silver car transformed into a streak of silver light that sped forward at a breakneck speed. At this moment, the He family team was on the track. A sense of hopelessness welled up in everyone's hearts. They hadn't thought much of it before, but now that they had raced against WW, they realized that WW's control was terrifying. It was far beyond what they could handle. The He family team was like a newborn baby, while the WW team was like an adult. There was no comparison at all. Any one of WW's racers could crush them easily. How could they be so strong? He Mingkai gritted his teeth. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't catch up with WW's car. He couldn't even catch up to them. The commentator said, all right, we finally see the He family team's silver car moving. If I'm not wrong, this racer isn't very familiar with the car. Haha. I can tell that he hasn't done his homework. He actually turned off all the auxiliary systems. We have to know that it's meaningless to turn off all the auxiliary systems at the start of the race. Instead, it would be dangerous for him to control the car. Of course, the He family racer's car is indeed very fast after turning off all the auxiliary systems. However, there is a sharp turn ahead, so he had better turn on the auxiliary systems immediately. As the commentator's voice trailed off, the silver racing car finally returned to the public's line of sight. About 400 to 500 meters ahead, the first sharp turn on the track greeted them. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 347. The commentator said, the He family racer didn't activate any assistance system after about 300 meters. I believe that she is the only racer in the He family team who is very smart. Even so, how is she going to make such a sharp turn without any assistance system? As the commentator finished speaking, everyone watched as Lin Yan's silver car made a sharp turn and swayed rapidly. Since there wasn't any vehicle assistance system, the silver car swayed even more violently. Just then, the silver car sped up. The front right wheel of the car actually brushed past the curve of the road. The curve was very short, so the silver car was still drifting and out of control. Coincidentally, one of the racers from the He family team was in front of it. F***CK. The He family racer instinctively glanced at the rearview mirror as he heard the roar of a beast. He watched as Lin Yan's car swerved to the left, using his car as a stepping stone. After overtaking the He family racer's car, Lin Yan made a sharp turn and steadied the car. Then, she disappeared in the blink of an eye. The commentator said, beautiful. Her maneuvering was so beautiful. The He family team is indeed capable. Even after turning off all the assistance system, she still managed to make a sharp turn. She even used her teammate's car as a stepping stone and drifted past him. Nice. This must be a lie. Is that Lin Yan? The He family racer, who had been overtaken by Lin Yan, was stunned. Lin Yan had turned off the assistance system, so her car was traveling at a much faster speed. In the blink of an eye, she had overtaken all the He family racers. He Mingkai's car was right in front of Lin Yan. How did she catch up? He Mingkai was startled when he saw Lin Yan's silver car in the rearview mirror. Instinctively, He Mingkai positioned his car in front of the silver car so that Lin Yan wouldn't overtake him. You're in the way. Lin Yan was expressionless as she forced He Mingkai's car to move away. After overtaking him, Lin Yan's car deliberately slammed on the brakes. Seeing this, He Mingkai's expression changed drastically. He quickly stepped on the brakes, but even so, the car still rammed into the back of the silver racing car. A second later, Lin Yan grinned and stepped on the accelerator. She disappeared without a trace. Bastard. At that moment, He Mingkai's car came to a stop, and he broke out in a cold sweat. That damned woman was deliberately toying with him. Impossible. How is this possible? He Mingkai couldn't believe his eyes. How could Lin Yan know how to race? How could she surpass him in such a short time? At this moment, the silver car was in berserk mode, chasing after WW's car. Oh my God, is this woman crazy? Don't block her. She's turned off all support modes. She'll really crash into us. One of the WW team members was pale, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. If he hadn't dodged in time, he would have perished together with the silver car. Chapter 348. How could there be such a person? That's impossible. The He family team doesn't have this kind of standard. She had given up on all the auxiliary systems and charged recklessly on the track. She had disregarded all the other cars. Even though the car in front had deliberately blocked her, she had stepped on the accelerator without any hesitation. There were only two possibilities. The first possibility was that this woman was a lunatic. She wasn't here to race. She was here to commit suicide. The second was that this woman was completely confident. Even so, at the last moment, she was still able to handle all possible situations perfectly. However, the WW team members didn't want to gamble. They were here to compete, not to perish together with someone else. If they didn't give way, and if they really collided with it, with such an impact, the car would be destroyed and people would die. There was no such thing as luck. Oh. WW's captain glanced at the silver car in the rearview mirror. There were many obstacles on the track, and it wasn't a straight line. As long as the obstacles were handled perfectly, the car in front would close the gap in an instant. That was unless the two racers' cars were on the same level, or even if the racers' skills were on the same level. That was the only way to keep the distance. However, that wasn't the case. The silver car was right behind them. The last track was extremely narrow, so there was no space for them to overtake. There was also no buffer zone. Logically speaking, they wouldn't be overtaken. If you want to overtake me, come and try. WW's captain grinned as he entered the narrow track. Lin Yan, who was deep in thought, steered to the left the moment the car in front entered the narrow track. There was a steep slope at the edge of the track. What is she trying to do? Out of the field, God Z was shocked. Wasn't this going to leave the track? Once she left the track, she would be eliminated immediately. Without giving anyone a chance to think, the silver car sped up the steep slope without any buffer zone. The moment it entered the steep slope, it sped up again. Whoosh! A second later, everyone watched in disbelief as the silver car sped across the slope. The entire car flew into the air and Lin Yan swerved to the right as it left the slope. The silver car, which had been about to leave the track, miraculously returned to the track. Bang! There was a loud noise. The silver car landed right in front of WW's captain's car. What? At that moment, the members of the TWW team stared at the silver car that had landed in front of them, their pupils constricting. He had been looking at the rearview mirror the entire time, so he had seen everything that had happened to the silver racing car. At this moment, Shuang Wan's captain's mind was blank. He could only watch as the silver vehicle rushed into the center of the map. He had no way to turn the situation around or stop it. Everything happened too fast and too unexpected. Liar, liar, liar. Everyone in the He family team was dumbfounded. Even the old man, He Dingkuan, was dumbfounded. Ever since Lin Yan's silver car had overtaken He Mingkai, they had felt that something was amiss. Lin Yan's silver car was simply a show. Godzi glanced at Air Commander and the others. Yeah, it's been a long time since we lost to Miss Lin Yan. Miss Lin Yan sent all of us out of the racetrack on her own. This time, she sent WW out of the racetrack on her own. However, WW is only slightly stronger than their captain. One of the speed members chuckled. As the man finished speaking, Qingli, He Xiong, and the others were completely dumbfounded. Lin Yan had sent Speed out of the racetrack with her own hands? End of update. Moi, this chapter will continue to draw canvas bags from my baby. I will announce the list of 50 canvas bags during the period of the double monthly ticket event on October 7th. Mobile users, please browse and read. A better reading experience is coming from LoveNet. Chapter 350. All the members of the He family team were in a daze. The navigators of the He family team couldn't believe their eyes. They had personally sent Speed out of the racetrack. Furthermore, Lin Yan had done it alone. How could such a thing have happened? However, why would a team as powerful as Speed have to lie? What was their motive? Besides, they had witnessed with their own eyes that Lin Yan had sent WW out of the racetrack. The members of the He family team glanced at each other. Did this mean that Lin Yan had possessed top-notch racing skills right from the start? Now that they thought about it, the elimination race with Old Tang's team wasn't a coincidence. Not only was Lin Yan a top-notch racer, but she was also a top-notch navigator. The funny thing was that they had mocked and ridiculed Lin Yan. They had even suggested that Lin Yan should become Qing Li's disciple. Before long, a few of the He family racers turned to look at Qing Li, thinking back to what Qing Li had said before. It was truly laughable. What had he said? That Lin Yan's piloting skills were average. That she had won because of luck. Qing Li was indeed the best navigator in the He family team. However, the He family team was just a small team, so Qing Li was at most an intermediate navigator. How dare he mock and ridicule a top-notch racer and navigator? He had even led them into a ditch. Many members of the He family team finally understood why Lin Yan hadn't retorted in the face of all the mockery and ridicule. If they had been in Lin Yan's shoes, they wouldn't have bothered to explain themselves if they had met a rookie. Because they wouldn't have bothered. He was disdainful, so he wouldn't bother to explain anything. The difference between them was too great, so they wouldn't have bothered to explain themselves. In Lin Yan's eyes, all of them were insignificant ants that weren't even worth mentioning. Many of the racers who had mocked and ridiculed Lin Yan before were flushed with embarrassment. They wished they could dig a hole and hide in it. Lin Yan, how dare you set me up on the track? He Mingkai strode over and glared at Lin Yan. Grandfather, Dad, if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have gotten this result. She deliberately set me up so that I would lose face in front of ZH1 and Speed. Hearing this, He Xiong clenched his teeth, as if he wanted to say something, but in the end, not a single word came out. F***CK. ZH1 and Speed are here because of me. Without me, you wouldn't have been able to participate in this competition. Where did you learn your driving skills? How dare you trick me on the track? You ingrate. He Mingkai was furious. My friend. Suddenly, Air Commander's eyes landed on He Mingkai. I think you have misunderstood something. Speed is here to cheer for Miss Lin Yan. As for you, I'm sorry, we really don't know each other. My words might sound harsh, but please don't take it to heart. Given your racing skills, you might not even be able to join an ordinary team in the country. He Mingkai froze when he heard Air Commander. What had he just said? Speed wasn't here because of him? Brother Mingkai, the fact that you can participate in this competition. No, the fact that your family can participate in this competition is because we have confidence in Miss Lin Yan. That's why we allowed the He family team to represent ZH1 in the competition. You might have misunderstood. ZH1's Mumu grinned at He Mingkai. Chapter 351. Speed and ZH1 could tell that He Mingkai and Lin Yan didn't have a good relationship. They might even be enemies. In that case, there was no need for them to give He Mingkai and his team any face on Lin Yan's account. He Mingkai, with your driving skills, you might not be able to beat any regular team member. Who taught you and your father that you are so strong? One of the ZH1 racers glanced at He Mingkai and He Xiong. Oh yeah, that navigator of yours is called Xingli. He can't even remember the basic rules, yet he wants Miss Lin Yan to be his disciple. This must be the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. That's right. Miss Lin Yan defeated all the members of Speed, yet she still wants to be his disciple? Has she been sitting in a well for too long that she doesn't know what the sky looks like? Qing Li's face darkened when he heard this, but he couldn't utter a single word. Lin Yan. Her. Beat Speed? He Mingkai gasped in disbelief. That's impossible. That's impossible. Something must have gone wrong. How could she beat me? Air Commander's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as he chuckled softly. Miss Lin Yan. Can we exchange contact details? I have some racing techniques that I would like to learn from you, me? Lin Yan glanced at Air Commander and grinned. Air Commander, my piloting skills are superficial. It was pure luck that I won against Speed and WW. Air Commander hastily replied, Miss Lin, you're too humble. What kind of joke was this? Did he think that he didn't know that she was the racetrack's Grim Reaper? I'm telling the truth. Lin Yan inhaled deeply and rejected him patiently. Speaking of which, isn't Air Commander's attitude towards me a little too strange? Even if she had won against them, he wouldn't have been so polite. After all, racers were prideful. Even if they had lost, they wouldn't have admitted defeat. Everyone in the He family team stared at Lin Yan in shock. Air Commander wanted to exchange contact details with Lin Yan, but Lin Yan had rejected him. Miss Lin, don't be like this. Just keep it. I promise not to disturb you. Really? Air Commander continued to pester him. It was the racetrack's Grim Reaper. He had to get it. He had to take advantage of the fact that Yeva was Lin Yan right now. Otherwise, when she resumed her identity as the racetrack's Grim Reaper, it would be extremely difficult for him to meet her, let alone contact her. Lin Yan was rendered speechless by Air Commander's pestering. In the end, she had no choice but to exchange contact information with him. Air Commander was satisfied when he received Lin Yan's contact. All right, Miss Lin Yan. We won't disturb you today. We have something to attend to, so we'll make a move. After saying that, Air Force knew when to stop. Then, he led Speed and the others away. Captain, give me your contact number. Captain. I want it too. Lin Yan was speechless. The members of WW hadn't shown up yet, as though they were indignant. However, Lin Yan didn't care. This had nothing to do with her. Even if WW didn't show up, it didn't mean that they had won. Grandfather, I still have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. Lin Yan tossed her helmet and gloves aside and grinned at He Dingkuan. Before He Dingkuan could snap back to his senses, Lin Yan had already left, leaving the shocked He family members behind. Chapter 352. The ZH1 team was the most excited team right now. If they had competed against WW, they would have lost the competition and lost the right to enter the third level of the international competition. They would also have been ridiculed by the entire industry. WW's original intention had been to provoke them and take revenge. However, ZH1 had miraculously won the competition and entered the third level of the international competition. God Z had never been so thankful for his decision. He had been so wise. God Z glanced at He Dingkuan and said gratefully, Old Master He, we will remember this favor. Please thank Miss Lin Yan on my behalf. He Dingkuan, who was still in shock, replied hastily, You're too kind. Actually, the He family team hadn't helped at all. It was all Xiaoyan's fault. Godzi sighed heavily and replied regretfully, I had wanted to invite Miss Lin Yan to join ZH1, but she rejected me. I was puzzled at the time, but I soon realized that she was your granddaughter. No wonder she insisted on staying and helping the He family team. The members of the He family team glanced at each other awkwardly. Lin Yan had rejected Godzi's invitation and joined the He family team, yet they had treated her with such an attitude. They had even thought that it was He Mingkai's doing. If He Mingkai had been that capable, the He family team wouldn't have ended up in this state. They had been too narrow-minded and arrogant. Meanwhile, at the VIP seats, Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Wei Shufeng, who was flabbergasted. He waved his right hand in front of Wei Shufeng's eyes and grinned. Brother, are you going to run? A certain someone had posted on Weibo that if the He family team won, he would run naked, F***CKU. Wei Shufeng snapped back to his senses and glared at Qi Xiaoyuan. Mr. Wei, I would like to interview you. I want to know how you are feeling right now. Qi Xiaoyuan chuckled softly as he sat beside Wei Shufeng. Wei Shufeng frowned as he tried to recall what had happened earlier. How could that be? How could Lin Yan be so good at racing? Could it be that she was a racing genius? Had she been practicing all this while? Or had she always been good at racing? No matter how good she was, there was no way she could beat a top team like WW. Was there something fishy going on? However, he had seen it with his own eyes. Lin Yan was indeed a good driver. Besides, she was the one who had driven the car. This couldn't be fake. Lin Yan. She doesn't look like she's competing. She looks like she's performing. Wei Shufeng muttered under his breath. Actually, any normal racer could achieve a good stage performance, but it was impossible to beat WW with a stage performance. Unless WW had deliberately allowed Lin Yan to win. However, it didn't seem realistic. Why would WW allow the He family team to win? Wei Shufeng, hurry up and fulfill your promise. You still need an autograph from me last time. Isn't that inappropriate? Qi Xiaoyuan grinned at Wei Shufeng. Wei Shufeng rolled his eyes at Qi Xiaoyuan. Scram. Meanwhile, Lin Yan had just left the preparation area. As she walked past the stands, she caught a glimpse of a familiar figure. Lin Yan staggered when she saw who it was. She was scared out of her wits. Holy shit. Pei Yucheng, I would like to emphasize that all of you, especially those who are students, shouldn't donate money just for the sake of the activities. We have many activities, including the building a building and book review. There are also many prizes, so it's easy to win prizes. Many of you have already won many prizes. P.S. A new month has begun. Let's double the monthly tickets. Our Rest of Life only has 4 months to ask for tickets this year, so I'm begging the fairies for more support. I'm going to continue writing. I'll try to write more today. Chapter 353. Why was Pei Yucheng here? Why was he sitting on the VIP seats? Lin Yan's brain seemed to have stopped working. To make matters worse, Pei Yucheng seemed to have spotted her as well. His eyes darted in her direction. Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground as Pei Yutong scampered over to her. Lin Yan pulled him over and whispered, "Why is your brother here? Did you tell him about the competition?" Pei Yutong scowled miserably. How could that be possible? I'm a tight-lipped person. I don't know how my brother found out. I was stunned when he suddenly appeared. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You were about to start the competition. I was afraid that it would affect your performance. Affect my ass. In a competition of this level, what could possibly affect their performance? However, Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yucheng and swallowed her saliva. That might not be the case. Perhaps it would really affect. Sister-in-law, you should think about what to do now. It wasn't easy for the two of you to get back together. Don't break up again. I really can't take this blow. Pei Yutong spoke in despair. Lin Yan's face darkened. She had broken up with Pei Yucheng, not with him. Why would he suffer such a blow? Lin Yan felt a headache coming on. Does your brother really hate racing that much? Pei Yutang muttered under his breath. My brother chased me out of the house because of racing. Every time I mention racing. No, even if I drive a little faster, my brother gets angry. What do you think? Lin Yan was dumbfounded. Isn't that the end? Pei Yutang replied, I think so too. Lin Yan was speechless. She had no choice but to bite the bullet and walk toward Pei Yucheng. The man was dressed casually today. Even though he was dressed casually, he was still so handsome that it made one's heart skip a beat. Is the competition over? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl. Judging from the man's expression, he didn't seem angry at all. However, it was hard to guess Pei Yucheng's emotions, so Lin Yan couldn't figure out his attitude. Lin Yan nodded cautiously. Ahem. Yes. It's over. Shall we have dinner together? How could Lin Yan say no? She nodded eagerly. Okay. Okay, Lin Yan couldn't help but ask, Mr. Pei, did you watch my competition? Pei Yucheng nodded. I did. Tears streamed down Lin Yan's cheeks. Wasn't she being caught in public? How should I put it, actually, or she could say that she didn't know how to race at all and didn't like racing. She was only doing it for Grandpa's team and was forced to do it. Even if she won, it would have been pure luck. Lin Yan was racking her brains for an explanation when he suddenly stroked her hair. His deep and magnetic voice was low and husky. What reward do you want for winning the competition? Huh? Lin Yan, who was dumbfounded, couldn't react in time. Not only wasn't Pei Yucheng angry, but he even wanted to reward her. Pei Yutang, who was listening intently in the front passenger seat, was speechless. Is there nothing you want? Pei Yucheng gazed at her quietly. He paused for a moment before he said, anything you want. The indulgence and pampering in the man's eyes were like warm seawater wrapping around her, simply enough to drown her. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit Self-Love website. Chapter 354. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutang was speechless. His big brother hadn't watched any of his races, but he had attended his sister-in-law's race. If he won, he wouldn't even get a wheel. If his sister-in-law won, she would give him everything she wanted. His brother was simply a world-renowned double standard. Forget it. As long as big brother and sister-in-law were in love, he didn't care how much he suffered. Actually, Lin Yan was surprised by Pei Yucheng's attitude. She asked in a daze, Mr. Pei, aren't you angry that I went to race? Pei Yucheng propped his hand on his forehead and gazed at the girl intently. Why would I be angry? You look beautiful on the track. Lin Yan was speechless. The moment Pei Yucheng said that, Lin Yan felt as though her heart had melted into a flowing stream in spring. She had only felt occasional feelings for Pei Yucheng in the past, but now, this was the first time she really wanted to be with him. Pei Yutang tilted his head and glanced at Ching Imo. Actually, I'm very handsome when I race. Ching Imo was speechless. Have you thought about it? Asked Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses and realized what had just happened. She was startled by her own thoughts. Was she crazy? How dare she covet Pei Yucheng? Lin Yan scratched her head and said hastily, I don't think there's a reward. Besides, I don't think I want anything. Actually, Pei Yucheng's I can have anything was really bewitching. Pei Yucheng replied nonchalantly, there's no rush. You can think about it slowly. It's effective anytime. The car arrived at Pei Yucheng's villa. They saw Pei Nanxiu as soon as they entered. Pei Nanxiu stood up and smiled warmly. You're back. Pei Nanxiu glanced at Lin Yan and asked casually, Big sister-in-law, I heard that you participated in a race today. Yeah. How did you know? I accidentally saw the gossip. I wanted to go with Big Brother to support you, but I had work to do today, so I couldn't go. explained Pei Nanshu. I see, indeed, the gossip had leaked. However, she hadn't expected Pei Yuqing to read the gossip. How was the competition? Asked Pei Nanshu. Because it was only a low-level qualifier, it would not be broadcast on TV, let alone live broadcast. People outside the circle would not pay attention to this kind of race. Only some fans at the scene would know the results of the race. Before Lin Yan could respond, Pei Yutang interjected excitedly, my big sister-in-law will definitely win. Is there still any suspense? Pei Nanshu chuckled lightly. I didn't expect you to have such a special ability. Actually, this competition is a good opportunity to change the fans' impression of you. Lin Yan nodded furiously. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. My manager, Zhao Hongling, has promised the company that she has to top the sales within 3 months. Otherwise, she will have to resign from her position as the director of the talent recruitment department. Hence, I've been thinking of ways to boost my sales. There's not much time left, so I'm thinking that I'll create a wave of momentum after the movie is released, and then use this competition to create another wave of momentum. With the 2 waves of popularity together, it shouldn't be a problem to rush to the top of the sales within the final time limit. For mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 355. Pei Nanshu listened to Lin Yan's analysis and quipped, it seems like you have it all planned out. No wonder my brother is so confident in you. Previously, when we asked my brother if we needed to help you, my brother said that you could handle it yourself. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing in surprise. Pei Yuqing's trust, understanding, and respect had touched her even more than her heart had ever been moved. Thank you. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing and couldn't help but thank him. Thank you, for trusting me. She had been despised by the entire world. Pei Yuqing bent over and poured a glass of juice for Lin Yan. You're welcome. I have always had good taste. Lin Yan felt as though she had been injected with adrenaline when she heard Pei Yuqing's words. Just when she had thought that Pei Yuqing was blind, he had said that he had always had good taste. Boss thought so highly of her. Lin Yan replied excitedly, I promised Mr. Pei that I would enter Summit Entertainment. I can't just enter just like that. Of course, I have to sign it in a glamorous manner. Don't worry, I will work hard. Huh? Why did it sound like she was going to marry him in a glamorous manner? Pei Yuqing glanced at the girl, who looked as though she wanted to work hard and contribute to the company. Helplessness flickered in his eyes as he retrieved a document from the drawer. The contract is ready. Take a look and see if there are any amendments. If there are no problems, you can sign it at any time. Lin Yan took the contract. Can I buy one get two free? My manager and assistant have been working together for a long time. I guarantee that my manager is very capable, and my assistant is very attentive, gentle, and sweet. Pei Yuqing replied, it's up to you. You can decide. I will get my assistant to prepare a copy of the contract. She hadn't expected that Pei Yuqing would agree without hesitation. Lin Yan stared at the man in front of her. It was as though a pair of pure white wings had sprouted from his back. He was like an angel. What do you want to eat tonight? I'll cook for you, Pei Yuqing said as he prepared to cook. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan felt a chill down her spine when she heard this. He was going to cook again. Pei Yutang spat out a mouthful of juice and Pei Nanshu looked nervous. Lin Yan replied hastily, no, it's okay. How can I let Mr. Pei cook for me personally? That's right, big brother. Let the chef at home do it. Big sister-in-law hasn't tried the new chef's cooking yet. Pei Yutang chimed in. Pei Nanshu replied, big brother, I didn't know that you were going to cook. I asked the kitchen to prepare the food. Lin Yan grabbed his arm when she saw that he was still contemplating. We don't meet often. It's rare for us to meet again. Can you spend more time with me? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl's arm. Okay. Pei Yutong looked excited. Big sister-in-law, well done. Pei Nanxiu heaved a sigh of relief. In case he wanted to cook again, she led him to the bedroom. Initially, Lin Yan had been worried that there would be an awkward silence when she was alone with Pei Yucheng. In the end, Pei Yucheng chatted casually with her about the trivial matters of his life. He didn't seem awkward at all. Chapter 356. In the living room, Pei Nanxiu glanced at Qing Imo. How's my brother's condition? Qing Imo clicked on a photo on his phone and replied, ever since the last incident, President Pei's condition has been extremely unstable. The chairman has already transferred all the experts from the United States to the country to be on standby in case of an emergency. The doctor just sent the test results. He said that President Pei's condition exceeded the limit 6 times today, but there was a period where his condition was stable. Hence, he asked me what he was doing during this period. I took a look. This stable period happened to be the period from when Boss Pei went to the competition venue to meet Miss Lin until now. Pei Yutong clicked his tongue. He's indeed my father. He's so powerful. If big sister-in-law stays by my brother's side 24 hours a day, wouldn't he recover? Pei Nanxiu frowned. Lin Yan is a human being. How can she be restricted 24 hours a day? Have you forgotten what happened last time? Pei Yutong nodded furiously. That's true. Although big sister-in-law's stabilizer is very effective, it's also a ticking time bomb. It was terrifying when big sister-in-law flipped out. Qing Imo chimed in, President Pei and Miss Lin's relationship has stabilized. That's the best outcome. We can't be too hasty. Pei Yutong quipped, as long as big sister-in-law doesn't break up with big brother, everything will be fine. I can just beg big sister-in-law if there's anything. Lin Yan stayed for dinner and discussed the contract with Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu. Pei Yucheng's condition wasn't stable, and he didn't like people approaching him. Hence, Pei Nanxiu had been staying at the villa to take care of him. Pei Yutong, who had run away from home, couldn't come here casually. Hence, he took advantage of Lin Yan's presence to enjoy the feeling of staying in a huge villa. Soon, it was past 11 p.m. Pei Yucheng reminded her, it's late. Go back and rest. Lin Yan hadn't noticed the time until Pei Yucheng reminded her that it was getting late. Oh, okay. I'll make a move first. Mr. Pei, you should rest early too. Lin Yan stood up. Pei Yutong, who had been playing games on the couch, stood up immediately. I'm leaving too. Sister-in-law was not here, so he did not dare to stay here alone. Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu walked Lin Yan to the door and asked Pei Yutong to take her back. Pei Yutong blinked and frowned. Why didn't Big Brother send her off personally? However, he didn't dare to refute his big brother's words, nor did he dare to ask. He really felt that the relationship between his elder brother and his sister-in-law was too distant. They did not seem like a couple at all. Isn't this progress a little too slow? Okay, I'll definitely send sister-in-law home safely. As Pei Yutong spoke, he couldn't help but curse inwardly. Even if he let his sister-in-law go out alone at night, the one in danger would be someone else. Lin Yan bade them farewell and got into Pei Yutong's car. Pei Yucheng didn't return to his room immediately. Instead, he lowered his eyes and lit a cigarette. He stood quietly in the dark as he watched the car leave. Beep, 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 on his wrist, the silver watch's siren went from weak and slow to rapid and intense. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 357. Brother, are you all right? Pei Nanxiu hesitated as he stood nervously by the side. From Pei Nanxiu's point of view, Big Brother had always been cold and distant in their hearts. He had always been indifferent to relationships and had been like an omnipotent god. He was flawless and didn't have any normal human emotions. Until Lin Yan had appeared, although they didn't know the reason, Lin Yan seemed to be more important to Big Brother than they had imagined. To Big Brother, there was no one or anything in his life that could escape his control. This was the first time he had treated someone with such care, such nervousness and restraint, in the car that gradually drove away. Lin Yan, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, frowned as she instinctively turned around. She seemed to have vaguely heard the familiar sound of her watch's alarm. She didn't know why, but she felt uneasy. She couldn't help but recall the scene of Pei Yuqing standing below her building that night. Pei Yutong, who didn't notice Lin Yan's absent-mindedness, exclaimed excitedly, "Daddy! You're really awesome. You actually beat WW. Daddy, take me in as your disciple. I want to be your disciple." Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him. She wasn't in the mood to talk to him. "I refuse." Pei Yutong looked aggrieved. "Why?" Lin Yan replied, "I don't accept disciples for no reason." None of the racers she had trained were below the first level of the international competition. Pei Yutong retorted confidently, "How can I be the same as others? I'm your brother-in-law after all. Can't you just let me in?" Lin Yan was speechless. She couldn't refute him. However, her father, brother-in-law, and disciple. What kind of complicated and strange relationship would that be? Lin Yan brushed him off casually. "I think a father-son relationship is good enough. If we become master and disciple, wouldn't my seniority drop?" Pei Yutong thought that her words made sense. He pondered them seriously before he replied, "No way. Isn't there a saying that goes, a teacher for a day is a father for life? No matter what, you'll always be my father. This will never change." Lin Yan was speechless as she listened to Pei Yutong's solemn promise. Pei Yutong's eyes darted around when Lin Yan fell silent. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "It's okay if you don't want to accept me as your disciple. You're my father, so you should teach me. Don't you agree, Dad? A disciple was nothing. You can have many disciples, but you can only have me as your son." Lin Yan was speechless. "That's enough. Haven't you ever thought that you still have two big brothers? Is it really good for you to acknowledge a father unilaterally? Daddy, why are you so absent-minded? What are you thinking about?" Pei Yutong finally realized that something was amiss. Lin Yan propped her forehead against her palm as she watched the Pei family's mansion from the rearview mirror. She muttered, "I miss your brother, pfft." Pei Yutong coughed violently as he grumbled, "Big sister-in-law, can you remind me when you stuff dog food into my mouth next time? I might choke if you stuff dog food into my mouth without warning. How's your brother's health recently? Have you recovered?" asked Lin Yan. Pei Yutong replied, "How could she have recovered? She acts up several times a day. Her condition is as unstable as a roller coaster." Chapter 358. Lin Yan frowned. Then why did Pei Yuqing keep telling her that he was fine? She had thought that given Pei Yuqing's background, the experts would have a solution. However, "Whenever he's with you, big sister-in-law, my brother's condition is very stable." Actually, Lin Yan had realized this herself. She hadn't believed it at first and had thought that it was just a coincidence. When the car was about to leave the villa, Lin Yan suddenly told Pei Yutong, "Hold on. Turn around and go back to the villa." "Huh? Go back to the villa? Now?" Pei Yutong was startled. "Yes. Now." Lin Yan replied anxiously, afraid that she would regret her decision. What was this about the more beautiful a creature was, the more poisonous it was? This time, she just wanted to follow her heart and be willful for once. "Oh, okay." Pei Yutong thought that she had something urgent to attend to, so he turned around hurriedly and drove back. At the entrance of the villa, under the shade of the swaying trees, the starlight sprinkled through the gaps. Pei Yuqing was still in the same position as when Lin Yan had left. He stood there quietly, holding a cigarette between his fingers. He hadn't even taken a puff, so the faint smoke lingered around his fingertips. Although he still had that cold and indifferent expression on his face, the intermittent sound of the watch on his wrist revealed the true emotions of the owner. Pei Nanshu, who was standing a few steps behind her, was worried. He was accompanying her. The night breeze was chilly, so Pei Nanshu glanced at his big brother. He was still worried about his health, so he reminded him, "Brother, let's go back. It's cold outside." Pei Yucheng nodded slightly and tossed the cigarette in his hand. He crushed it and turned to walk into the room. Just as they were about to enter the villa, they heard the sound of a bicycle engine. Pei Nanshu turned around and stared at Pei Yutong in surprise. "Yutong?" Pei Yutong and Lin Yan got out of the car at the same time. "Why are you back?" Pei Nanshu asked instinctively. Pei Yutong scratched his head. "I don't know. Big sister-in-law asked me to come back." Pei Yucheng turned to look at Lin Yan. His expression didn't change as he asked, "Did you leave something behind?" Lin Yan strode over to the man and raised her head to look at him. "Yeah, it's..." "What is it?" "I'll help you look for it," said Pei Yucheng. Just as he was about to turn around, his hand was suddenly grabbed by a soft little hand. Then, he looked into a pair of eyes that were as bright as stars. Then, he heard the girl mumble, "No, I didn't leave anything behind." "It's you." Pei Yucheng was speechless, Pei Nanshu was speechless, Pei Yutong was speechless, Pei Yucheng seemed to be in a daze. Lin Yan, who had always been polite and respectful to him, had suddenly said something like that to him. He was momentarily speechless. Lin Yan's face heated up when she met the man's startled gaze. She gathered her courage and said, "Didn't you say that you would reward me because I won? And you said I can have anything I want?" Pei Yucheng replied, "Yes, oh, then I want to stay with you." "Is that okay?" asked Lin Yan. Pei Yucheng was speechless, Nanshu was speechless, Pei Yutong, what did he just hear? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 359. Pei Yucheng's eyes, which had always been calm, flashed with astonishment. Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong hadn't expected that Lin Yan would take the initiative to show off her affection. For a moment, the three of them stood there in a daze, not saying a word. The air fell into a dead silence. Lin Yan coughed softly. "Can't I?" Actually, Lin Yan's thoughts were simple. She would return the favor if others were kind to her. Pei Yucheng understood and respected her racing career and her career in the entertainment industry. He even admired her. This was what touched her the most. Pei Nanshu had reduced his workload to take care of Pei Yucheng, even though he knew that he wasn't in good health. Regardless of whether this relationship was fake or fake, she was Pei Yucheng's girlfriend. She had to do something for him. When Pei Yucheng met the girl's inquisitive gaze, his eyes, which were as dark as the night, seemed to be filled with stars. He replied softly, "Of course." This was the first time that Lin Yan had taken the initiative to approach him. Pei Yutong stood beside the car in a daze. He felt as though he and his second brother were two bright light bulbs. Are they living together? What the? I was just complaining that big brother and big sister-in-law were progressing too slowly. Why did they suddenly speed up? Pei Yutong gasped in amazement. This speed. He's indeed my father. Pei Nanshu coughed softly. It seems like we have forgotten about another possibility, the possibility that Lin Yan would take the initiative to approach Big Brother. Lin Yan had been too polite to Big Brother. She had even seemed afraid of him. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would take the initiative to stay. In that case, she would be able to spend more time with Big Brother, which would be beneficial to his recovery. Pei Yutong was thrilled. "Ha. I knew it. As long as big sister-in-law and big brother don't break up, they will get closer and closer. They will naturally be inseparable. What's there to worry about? I think it's better for my sister-in-law to say something than to be sent flying by that group of experts. Pei Nanxiu smiled and didn't retort. Pei Yutong was right. It's just sad to be a single dog. Pei Yutong sighed miserably. I haven't dated in a long time because I've been focusing on my career. In the past, he was also a little white dragon who had many girlfriends. However, ever since he fell in love with racing, women were no longer interesting to him. He only wanted to date a racer. Pei Nanxiu, who had never been in a relationship, coughed. She coughed softly and said, I didn't mean anything by it. Mr. Pei hasn't been feeling well recently, so I thought that we could take care of each other if we stayed together. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good if I didn't do anything when he gave up on his work and took some time out of his schedule. Pei Yucheng chuckled softly. It's fine. You can have other meanings. Lin Yan was speechless, Nanshu was speechless. For the first time, Pei Qian, who had always been doted on by everyone, felt like an extra. Chapter 360. Lin Yan hadn't thought much about it. However, when she heard him say that she could have other meanings, she couldn't help but let her imagination run wild. Come to think of it, her request could easily be misunderstood. How tragic. Would Pei Yucheng think that she had some ulterior motives? That was why she had suggested moving in with him? Heaven was her witness. She really hadn't. Her original intentions had been pure and innocent. Unfortunately, she couldn't explain herself now. Pei Yutong chimed in happily, big sister-in-law, I'll help you move now. Lin Yan stared speechlessly at Pei Yutong, who looked as though he was celebrating the new year. It's too late now. I have to go back and pack my things. Besides, a friend of mine helped me rent that apartment. I have to inform him that I'm moving out. Pei Yucheng's eyes flickered. Wang Jingyang? Lin Yan nodded, looking surprised. Yeah, Wang Jingyang. Mr. Pei, how do you know my friend's name? You've mentioned him before, Pei Yucheng replied casually. Lin Yan asked, huh? Really? She didn't remember mentioning Wang Jingyang in front of Pei Yucheng. Perhaps she had unintentionally mentioned him but had forgotten. It's only right to inform him, Pei Yucheng replied. Call me after you're done packing. I'll pick you up. Okay. Back at the apartment, Lin Yan had originally planned to look for Wang Jingyang the next morning. She hadn't expected to bump into him as she walked downstairs. Hi, doggy. Lin Yan's eyes lit up as she hurried forward. Why are you back so late? Wang Jingyang frowned as he glanced at her. Lin Yan replied, That's great. I have something to tell you. Why don't you treat me to supper? Wang Jingyang glanced at her. Why should I treat you to supper? Lin Yan raised an eyebrow and replied nonchalantly, I won today's competition. Aren't you going to celebrate it for me? Wang Jingyang rolled his eyes at her. Forget it. If I have to treat you to a meal every time I win a match, I'll go bankrupt. Besides, you want me to treat you to a meal for such a small competition? Aren't you embarrassed? Wang Jingyang knew that Lin Yan was going to help the He family with the competition. However, he didn't need to guess to know what would happen. He didn't pay much attention to her, nor was he interested in watching her beat up the weaklings. You haven't answered me yet. Why did you come back so late? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan's eyes darted around guiltily. Why can't I come back so late? Aren't you unemployed recently? The competition should have ended a long time ago. You don't have any friends in the country, so why did you come back so late? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan was rendered speechless. Was there a need to be so hurtful? Lin Yan rolled her eyes and retorted, I don't have many friends in the country, but can't I have a boyfriend? For a moment, Wang Jingyang thought he had misheard. What did you say? What do you have? Boyfriend. Did you drink too much again? Wang Jingyang looked disgusted. Lin Yan replied, I didn't drink much. I really have a boyfriend. Initially, Lin Yan had thought that Pei Yuqing wouldn't be in a relationship for long, so she hadn't planned on telling Wang Jingyang about it. However, based on the current situation, they wouldn't be breaking up anytime soon. After all, Wang Jingyang was her brother, so there was no need to hide it from him. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Yes, yes, yes. You have a boyfriend. Are you going to tell me that your boyfriend is Pei Nanxiu? Girls usually treated their idols as their boyfriends and husbands. Lin Yan had often praised Pei Nanxiu's handsome boyfriend in front of his posters, so Wang Jingyang was used to it. Lin Yan replied, although he isn't Pei Nanxiu, he does have something to do with him. Wang Jingyang noticed the seriousness on Lin Yan's face. She didn't look like she was joking. His eyes narrowed. Really? Who is it? Lin Yan replied, Pei Nanxiu's older brother, Pei Yuqing. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Chapter 361. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched as he snapped back to reality. Women are fickle creatures. Didn't you say that Pei Nanxiu would never be a fan? Would he never be a fan? What's wrong? You've changed your wall now? Wang Jingyang didn't take it seriously. He assumed that Lin Yan had simply changed her idol. After all, they lived so close to each other. He was well aware of Lin Yan's daily activities. How could he not know that she had gotten a boyfriend right under his nose? He had known Lin Yan for years, so how could he not know her? As long as she had made a decision, she would never change her mind. Previously, she had said that she wanted to focus on her work. There was no way she would start a relationship now. Besides, she had just gotten into a fight with Han Yishuan. How could she get a new boyfriend so soon? Furthermore, her boyfriend was a man who would never have anything to do with her. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan looked helpless and aggrieved. Why didn't anyone believe her nowadays? Lin Yan replied, I'm not changing my boyfriend. I can change my boyfriend. However, I will never change my boyfriend. I really have a boyfriend. Why don't you believe me? Wang Jingyang replied, why would I believe you? Lin Yan was speechless. That was right. She must have seen a ghost. That was why she had gotten a boyfriend. You want me to believe that the boss of JM Corporation is a blind man? Do you think that's possible? Wang Jingyang glanced at her. Lin Yan narrowed her eyes. What the hell? Say that again. Wang Jingyang shuddered in fear as he stumbled backward. What I mean is, you have a lot of inner qualities. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to appreciate it. They would only be able to see the surface. Only someone like me, who has inner qualities and isn't superficial, Wang Jingyang muttered softly to himself. Lin Yan inhaled deeply. She couldn't be bothered to explain anymore. The reason why she didn't tell Wang Jingyang before was that she had already expected this to be the sender. Well, not to mention Wang Jingyang, even if she was in his shoes, she wouldn't believe it either. Anyway, she had already said what she needed to say. When the time came, Wang Jingyang could not blame her for not being loyal to her brother and purposely hiding it from him. By the way, you just said that you have something to tell me. What is it? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan replied, I wanted to tell you that I'm moving to my boyfriend's place. Wang Jingyang, wake up, brother. Have you really gone crazy from chasing stars? Lin Yan was speechless. You're the silly one. Anyway, I'm going to move, replied Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang was a little surprised. He frowned and asked, where are you moving to? Didn't you just rent this house for a few months? Lin Yan mulled it over. Since you don't believe that I'm moving to my boyfriend's place, you can assume that I'm moving to the company's dormitory. Pei Yuqing was her boss, so it wouldn't be a problem if he said that it was the company's dormitory. With your current performance, it would be good enough if the company didn't kick you out. Why would they arrange a dormitory for you? Wang Jingyang said in disbelief. Lin Yan snorted coldly. Can't I jump ship? The new company has arranged a huge villa for me. Wang Jingyang's face darkened when he heard Lin Yan's words. Forgive me for reminding you. Don't forget that you have already paid a year's rent. If you break the contract now, you won't be able to get a refund. Lin Yan was stunned when she heard him. Her heart ached. No way, I'll update 2 chapters first. I'll update more later. It's so lonely not seeing your comments. I don't have the energy to write anymore. Chapter 362. Lin Yan suddenly recalled that there had been such a clause in the contract. If she broke the contract, she wouldn't be able to rent it out. Wang Jingyang studied Lin Yan's pained expression and coughed softly. Anyway, you've already paid. Why don't you move to the company's dormitory when the contract expires? She had already promised Pei Yucheng, so she couldn't go back on her word now. In the end, Lin Yan could only grit her teeth and say, fine. At most, I'll just leave the apartment there. Wang Jingyang was shocked when he heard her. He knew how stingy Lin Yan was. He hadn't expected that she would insist on moving out even if she didn't refund the rent. Which company did you jump to? Why are you making such a huge sacrifice? Wang Jingyang had assumed that Lin Yan would have joined a mediocre management company. He couldn't help but feel curious now. I haven't signed the contract yet. I'll discuss it with Sister Ling tomorrow and let you know. Lin Yan replied perfunctorily. If she had told him that she had signed with Summit Entertainment, Wang Jingyang wouldn't have believed her and would have questioned her again. After she returned to her apartment, Lin Yan tidied up her things. She didn't have many things, so she only needed a suitcase and a big bag. Once she was done packing, she could move out the next day. Lin Yan wandered around to see if she had left anything behind. Oh yeah. She had almost forgotten something important. Lin Yan rummaged under her pillow and found a garlic, an 8-trigram mirror, and a bunch of talismans. She had bought a lot of things last time, but Wang Jingyang had told her that she had asked him to throw them away. She had bought more and hidden them under her pillow. Although they didn't seem to be of much use, it was obvious that she hadn't completed the last scene with Pei Nanshu on the day of the completion of filming. However, she hadn't caused any trouble for her. Instead, she had helped her a lot. Had she finally gotten what she wanted? Had she won Pei Yucheng's heart? At this thought, Lin Yan suddenly recalled something. She had been worried that her other consciousness would do something to other male celebrities when she had lost consciousness. In the end, she had only done indescribable things to Pei Yucheng. So the other consciousness in her body had been after Pei Yucheng? Oh my god. If she stayed with Pei Yucheng now, wouldn't she be sending Pei Yucheng to the tiger's den? Lin Yan clutched the garlic in her hand as her face turned pale. No, she had to think of a way to protect Pei Yucheng. She couldn't let this happen. The next day, Lin Yan went to Star Entertainment to talk to Zhao Hongling about her plans and the matter of signing with Summit Entertainment. When he arrived at the company and walked to Zhao Hongling's office, he saw many people surrounding the door, pointing and gossiping. There were also many employees moving things in and out of the building. Lin Yan glanced at them and noticed that they were moving Zhao Hongling's belongings. Zhao Hongling coldly watched from the side, while Toto angrily and anxiously tried to stop those people. Stop. Stop moving. Manager Gao. What do you mean by that? What right do you have to occupy Sister Ling's office? A well-dressed middle-aged man sat in the seat that had belonged to Zhao Hongling with a smug look on his face. What do you mean? What do you mean? If you can't meet the sales target, you will be fired from your position. This office should belong to someone with ability. Chapter 363. At this moment, a gorgeous young girl who was dressed fashionably next to Gao Zhuwei glanced in Zhao Hongling's direction and sneered. Director Zhao said that she would resign from the position of director if she couldn't meet the sales target. But the deadline hasn't arrived yet. Duo gritted her teeth as she retorted. Although it was impossible for them to complete the contract, they were only delaying the deadline by 3 months. Why were they so impatient? At this moment, the other artistes who were watching from the side said, "There's only less than a week left, and you're still hoping to surpass Brother Wei's performance this quarter in such a short time? Dream on." Yeah. Qianqian's resources have been going through the roof these few months. 2 blockbuster movies are about to be released, and a drama with a female lead is about to start filming. She has even signed a contract to be the spokesperson for CA. How can you compete with her? Don't tell me it's to use that dog skin plaster that's been scolded so badly that he doesn't even dare to come out? Ha ha ha. That bullsh *T plaster. Even if Zhao Hongling makes use of the entire entertainment industry, she won't be able to catch up to Qianqian. Don't insult Qianqian. Exactly. The only movie that is about to be released is a supporting actress. She has already been scolded by the netizens. Jiang Sifei's acting will definitely be a joke. I heard that she has even embarrassed herself in the racing industry. Gao Zhuwei used to be Zhao Hongling's manager. Unlike Zhao Hongling, who focused on results, Gao Zhuwei loved to build relationships. And Qianqian was one of Gao Zhuwei's actresses. She was pretty, but there were too many good-looking actresses in the entertainment industry. She didn't have any special talents, so she had always been mediocre. However, Gao Zhuwei had recently found an impressive boss for Enchanting. Hence, Enchanting's career had taken off in an instant. Her resources had exploded, and she had broken Star Entertainment's sales record. Even Zhao Hongling, who had managed Liang Sifei, wouldn't be able to catch up to her. In the company, whoever had the highest performance would be able to do whatever they wanted. Gao Zhuwei was riding on the crest of success, so he had already assumed that the position of director was in his bag. Why would he place Zhao Hongling there? As for the other employees, they all joined Gao Zhuwei's side when they saw that Zhao Hongling had lost her power and would never be able to rise again. No matter what, it's not time yet, and Sister Ling is still the director. You don't have the right to do this. Duo said as he suppressed his anger. Gao Zhuwei smiled. Oh, it's not time yet. It's not time yet, but I'm going to kick you out. What can you do to me? Go complain to the boss if you have the guts. Why don't you try and see if he ignores you? And Qianqian folded her arms across her chest and snorted softly. You have fallen so low as to rely on a trashy artist like Lin Yan to make a comeback. Do you still think that you're the director of the talent department who managed the award-winning actress? Now that Enchanting had found a rich man, she was even more unscrupulous. She waved her slender fingers and ordered, "Don't worry about them. Continue moving. Oh right, vacate the lounge on the 3rd floor as well. No one is allowed to use it except for me." Duoduo's face darkened. Sister Ling had paid for the renovation of the lounge on the 3rd floor so that Jiang Sifei could have a safe place to rest when she returned to the company. How could they be so greedy? Chapter 364. The moment Enchanting spoke, the staff shoved Duo away rudely and continued moving. They had heard that Enchanting had found a powerful backer this time. Even the boss of Star Entertainment didn't dare provoke her. He treated her like a deity and worshipped her. Enchanting only wanted an office and a resting area, so it was a piece of cake. After that, Enchanting slowly walked to a row of bookshelves. Her eyes fell on a crystal trophy. She reached out and picked it up. Oh. Where is Liang Sifei's Best Supporting Actress trophy? This was the first time Liang Sifei had won an award. Although it was just a Best Supporting Actress trophy, it was Zhao Hongling's most treasured trophy. It was this trophy that had given her hope during her darkest and most difficult moments. She had been tempted to give up several times, but it had allowed her to persevere on her path. In the end, she had led Jiang Sifei all the way to the title of Best Actress. Step by step, she had risen to the position of director of the talent recruitment department. She had finally found her own niche in this industry. Zhao Hongling stared at the trophy, her face crestfallen. However, just as she was about to rise to the top, Liang Sifei broke the contract and left without hesitation. All her efforts had gone to waste. In the next second, he suddenly heard a clang sound. Zhao Hongling's eyes, which were as still as an ancient well, were filled with shock. She watched as the crystal trophy slipped from Enchanting's hands and fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. Enchanting! Duo screamed at the sight of the shattered trophy. "Oh, I'm so sorry. My hand slipped." Enchanting didn't look the least bit apologetic. You are too much." Duoduo's eyes reddened. She knew how much Zhao Hongling valued this trophy. She wiped it carefully every morning and liked to use it when she was in a bad mood or met with difficulties. These people were simply using their power to bully others. Zhao Hongling stared at the broken pieces in a daze. She bent down slowly and touched the pieces with her fingers. The sharp fragments instantly cut through his fingertips, and fresh blood flowed out. However, Zhao Hongling didn't seem to notice it. She continued to pick up the pieces. "Tsk. How unlucky. This is my new office. Don't drip your blood on the floor." Gao Zhiwei complained. With that, Gao Zhiwei ordered someone to chase her away. "Zhao Hongling, don't stay here any longer. Get lost. Don't blame me for not being benevolent enough. From today onwards, you will be my assistant. I have also reserved the storeroom on the first floor for you. Otherwise, with your current performance, you don't even deserve an office, understand?" The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up when she saw this. This Gao Zhiwei had a good plan. He didn't know how to nurture new talent and only knew how to build connections. Therefore, he forced Zhao Hongling to be his assistant. When the time came, even if she made achievements, it could only be his. His mouth was still full of hypocrisy. What wishful thinking. What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear what Brother Gao said? Hurry up and move your junk to your office. One of the employees impatiently shoved a cardboard box into Toto's arms. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 365. Enchanting clicked her tongue and replied nonchalantly, "Director Zhao, you have to know that you have to bear some responsibility for Liang Sifei's job hopping. You have caused such a huge loss to the company. It's already a miracle that the company hasn't chased you out. It's all thanks to Brother Gao who spoke up for you in front of the boss that you can stay and be his assistant. You have to be grateful." Gao Zhiwei stroked his chin and added, "Oh yeah, other than Liang Sifei, you don't have anyone else under you. Although Lin Yan has been slandered all the time, she is still pretty. I have already spoken to the higher-ups. From today onward, Lin Yan will be under me. I will be in charge of Lin Yan's schedule and work arrangements." Zhao Hongling, who had been silent all this while, finally blurted out, "That's impossible." She knew Gao Zhiwei all too well. An artist like Lin Yan would be nothing more than a chess piece in his hands. He would never sincerely support Lin Yan. He would ask Lin Yan to entertain the investors and exchange resources for the artists under him. Gao Zhiwei sneered coldly. "Director Zhao. Oh, no. You are no longer the director. Miss Zhao, forgive me for reminding you that you have no right to decide who your artist belongs to." Gao Zhiwei had just finished speaking when a girl's clear voice rang out. "Thank you for your kind intentions, future Director Gao." Lin Yan strode into the office and leaned over to help Zhao Hongling up. Then, she smiled and said, "However, I'm really sorry, Director Gao. You have no right to order me around. Gao Zhiwei's face darkened when he saw that Lin Yan had rejected him. Who do you think you are? It's your honor that I'm willing to hire you. Otherwise, with your virtue, apart from having a body full of black spots, you have no education, and no acting skills. How dare you reject me? Gao Zhiwei paused before he added, also, Lin Yan, I have no right to order you around. You have to understand the situation. I, Gao Zhiwei, am in charge of this company. You have to do whatever I ask you to do. Don't push your luck. Lin Yan watched Gao Zhiwei quietly without saying a word. Gao Zhiwei noticed that Lin Yan wasn't responding, so he assumed that she had given in. He sounded as though he was giving her a reward. I've arranged a dinner in a few days. Remember to dress up nicely and be on time. If you mess it up, I'll make you suffer. Lin Yan waited for Gao Zhiwei to finish before she replied, even if you're the boss, it wouldn't matter. I have already decided to terminate my contract with the company. From today onwards, I'm no longer a part of Star Entertainment. Gao Zhiwei was taken aback. What did you say? You want to terminate the contract with the company? Given Lin Yan's current situation, she should be grateful that Star Entertainment was still willing to hire her. How dare she terminate her contract with the company? The only use of an artist who couldn't be nurtured was to curry favor with the bosses and get some resources for Qianqian. When that time came, Lin Yan would be considered a huge favor. She actually dared to terminate the contract with the company. Who gave her the courage? Where would she get the money to terminate the contract? After terminating the contract, which company would want a troublemaker like her? Chapter 366. Besides Gao Zhiwei, Zhao Hongling and Duo were shocked as well. Duo tugged at Lin Yan hastily. Sister Yan, you want to terminate the contract? Are you crazy? Even though Star Entertainment was a small company, it was a shelter and Sister Ling would take care of her. Once she left Star Entertainment, she would have nowhere else to go. I didn't have any work, so I couldn't even eat. Have you forgotten? Duo reminded her anxiously. And Qianqian's expression darkened when Lin Yan rejected her. Recently, she had her eye on a good movie, but the investor was difficult to deal with. He had a perverted fetish and had ruined many actresses. She didn't want to deal with him, so she had suggested that Gao Zhiwei get Lin Yan to accompany the investor. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would be so stubborn? And Qianqian sounded as though she had good intentions. She sounded a little threatening as she said, Lin Yan, this assistant is right. You have to think this through. Brother Wei is willing to hire you, bring you to dinner, and provide you with an opportunity. You should consider yourself lucky. If you miss this chance, you won't get another opportunity like this. It will be too late for regrets when you end up on the streets. Zhao Hongling frowned and strode over to Lin Yan. Lin Yan, don't worry. There's still a way out. I'll talk to boss. No matter what, I've worked for the company for so many years. Boss will give me some face. Actually, the fact that boss had allowed Gao Zhiwei to do this meant that his attitude was clear. Even if Zhao Hongling had worked hard for the company for many years and created a lot of income, in the eyes of the boss, she was just an abandoned pawn that could not create value for him. Lin Yan was lost in her thoughts when she heard the employees greeting her respectfully. Boss. Boss is here. Hi, boss. A man with a big belly and a beautiful assistant walked over and chided them. Why aren't all of you working properly? What are you doing? As soon as he saw the boss, Gao Zhiwei immediately went up to him and said with a face full of smiles, Oh. Boss, you're here. Why did you have to come over for such a small matter? I can settle it myself. And Qianqian walked to the other side of the boss and held his arm intimately. She looked aggrieved and complained in a sweet voice, Boss, you came just in time. Can you control them? Zhao Hongling has caused the company to suffer a huge loss, and Lin Yan has embarrassed the company. Brother Wei has transferred Sister Ling to be his assistant on account of her years of service in the company. He's even willing to accept Lin Yan, who is a burden. In the end, the two of them aren't grateful at all. And Qianqian looked indignant. Lin Yan just threatened to terminate the contract. Is that so? Du Pingsheng, the boss of Star Entertainment, glanced at Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling. How dare she refuse to give him face? Zhao Hongling hesitated to speak. In the end, she didn't stop Lin Yan. She couldn't even protect herself now, let alone her boss. Even if Lin Yan stayed on planet Qi, she wouldn't be able to protect her. Plenty seemed to have thought of this as well, so he didn't say anything else. However, terminating the penalty for terminating the contract wouldn't be a small sum either. Zhao Hongling was worried, so Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to waste her breath on Slaughter's Gate. She waved her hand and pulled Zhao Hongling and Duo away. Sister Ling, don't worry. Even if the sky falls, you'll still have me. Also, where's the big shot? For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 368. Zhao Hongling, Duo, and Lin Yan packed their things and left the office. And Qianqian watched them leave and leaned over to Gao Zhiwei's ear. She whispered, Brother Wei, how dare Lin Yan threaten to terminate her contract with the company? Could Zhao Hongling have helped her find another company? Otherwise, why would she be so arrogant? If that's the case, what will happen to the banquet? And Qianqian sounded worried. Gao Zhiwei chuckled softly. Qianqian, you're really naive. Without Jiang Sifei, Zhao Hongling would be like a tiger without its fangs. She would be useless. How could she help Lin Yan find another job? As for Lin Yan, she has offended Triumph Entertainment. Which company or manager would dare to hire her? Lin Shia would definitely wish for her to suffer. Lin Yan would never be able to make it big in this lifetime. And Qianqian nodded happily. Brother Wei, you're so smart. I'm lucky that I chose you. If I had followed Zhao Hongling, I wouldn't have been able to make it big. Gao Zhiwei replied smugly, it's good that you know that. As long as you listen to me, you will become the top girl of Star Entertainment. In the future, you will be the top girl of the entire entertainment industry. You should just wait and see. Lin Yan will come crying to me when the time comes. Meanwhile, Lin Yan and Duo had arrived at Zhao Hongling's place. On the way back, Toto didn't say a word. Instead, he sat down on the sofa with a gloomy expression. Sister Ling, what should we do now? President Du doesn't care about our relationship at all. He only listens to Gao Zhiwei and Enchanting. Gao Zhiwei doesn't know anything about business and he only knows how to pull strings. How dare he ask you to be his assistant? How can he be so shameless? The more Duo thought about it, the angrier she felt for Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling sighed heavily. If you don't agree to his conditions, you will have to leave the company. Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling and tried to sound her out. Sister Ling, I wanted to say this earlier. Given your abilities, you can go anywhere you want. Why do you insist on staying at Star Entertainment? It's a waste of your talent. As Lin Yan spoke, she pondered how she should tell Zhao Hongling about Summit Entertainment. Zhao Hongling chuckled bitterly. Lin Yan, some things aren't that simple. From Zhao Hongling's tone, there seemed to be something else she was hiding. Duo glanced at Lin Yan and explained, Sister Yan, you haven't been with the company for long, so there are some things that you might not be aware of. Du Pingsheng is a despicable man. Anyone who has left planet Qi, be it an artist or a manager, will be vilified by him. Other companies didn't dare to accept it. Jiang Sifei, who had been poached by Triumph Entertainment, was an exception. She has a backer, so Du Pingxing won't dare to mess with her. Duo added, of course, you don't have to worry about your dark skin. I'm just afraid that Sister Ling and the rest won't let you off. Lin Yan was speechless. Why couldn't he be sarcastic now? Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, I don't have to be afraid of them, replied Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling shook her head and replied, Lin Yan, it won't be easy to terminate the contract even if you manage to raise enough money. Gao Zhiwei will definitely hold on to your contract and won't let it go. Once he goes to court, it will take months or years. You won't be able to take on any jobs during this period. You will be crippled. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.